put together that she spent, you know, when you add up the contact time for a 1-unit course or a 3-unit course, 45 or 135, we were spot on with our kind of time assessment as to how long I needed to take. So we were pretty.
We're just going to, probably in the fall, we're just going to embed.
That's the best one. Send a little electric shock when they're not doing what they're doing.
And then you know it's them and not someone else.
RFIDs. Cats and lost.
It would make things so much easier.
I can interject. I know children.
Oh, yes. Yeah, sorry.
Working on an online class with her. And what she has set up is
With Ginger?
She is.
Yeah. I actually work with people.
You actually work.
We have a photo for you.
That'll be our refrain from now on. We have a photo for you.
She's not paying me to do this. I mean, she's making, I had no idea what to expect doing an online class for the very first time. And we're doing research and writing. I'm working with a legal writing professor, and then I'm doing research. And it's scary how much work it is, but she's really made it so much easier, and I just can't. What you've got in place is really good.
I'll pay. Did you?
I know.
Every time I talk to Ginger, I say, I wish we had someone like this.
Oh, we are.
We've
So
had to
lucky.
figure it out on our own.
Really appreciate how lucky you are.
You are.
Yeah, it's fun.
I should get paid more. Oh, back it's on live.
I don't think we're recording these.
Oh, okay.
I'm director of online learning and instruction design for the law school.
Oh, nice. See, that's what we need at our school. We don't have it embedded in our law school. We have it at the university level.
Right.
We don't have a person like you.
So we started off 12 years ago at the university. I was not there, but just people, whoever wanted to put a course online, you could just go down to the Office of Instruction Assessment, and they give you a course site, and you could throw up whatever you wanted. And it's kind of more. And about 2.5 years ago, we decided to have the UA Online Campus, which is a fully online campus. So we have the Office of Visual Learning, which supports the instruction design and development of this course. So I worked for them when we started the fully online campus. And now that we're 2 years down the road, we still have all those courses going through the fully online campus, but we still have the law school or, you know, the education school, College of Education, wanting to do their own little courses that are not necessarily online. So now I'm like a partner to that office. You know, I go to their meetings, I still email them, hey, what about this? We work very closely together and support each other. So it's nice to have that kind of support. But then, you know, then they say, no, Ginger, you can't do that. Why not?
But that's what, I mean, one of the things about the uncharacteristically serious stuff, one of the things about developing online courses, online programs, is just much of your skill set needs to revolve around talking people into changing something that they've been doing for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, be it registrar's office, financial aid, admissions, IT, even academic technology, who one would expect would be more receptive. And that's the, and at least in my position as director of online initiatives at the law school, you know, that's what I get effective. I get paid for that, small stipend, but I have nobody who reports to me. Not a single person reports to me. And so it's all the act of successful or failed persuasion. I mean, it really is. So you're always hearing people say, I'm not going to do that. You can't tell me what to do. Or, this is not the way I've always done it. We're not going to change. And that's the thing that drives me crazy.
And we do have people that say that. We do. Oh, no, I'm not doing that. Sorry, I got to find someone else. Yep, okay. We really wanted you. No. Okay.
Or you can't do that.
Right, right. And it's always a work in progress. We're always trying to, you know, figure out new ways to do things. But anyway, it's 12:04, and we have a lot of people here. So welcome to the working group and lunch meeting. It's kind of unstructured, so we need to know each other. I think we should probably do introductions first.
Oh, John Mayer, Executive Director of CALI.
And who's behind you?
Oh, hi. I'm Sue Altmaier, University of Akron. I'm a law librarian there. I teach an online advanced legal research.
I'm CJ Pippins. I'm Academic Technology and Research Librarian at the University of Maryland. I teach online advanced legal.
Cynthia Condit, law librarian at the University of Arizona. I teach legal research and just getting started in this online thing.
Hi, I'm Jenna Martin. I am I'm the Associate Dean for Innovation and Global Development at West Virginia University. Then I get to step back down and be a faculty member in July 1st. But I'm going to be in charge of our online programming. And I also teach online at the law school and at the business.
Will Monroe, and I'm at the MSU Law Center, and I'm currently one of the interim directors for library and IT. But in my normal life, I like to be the assistant director for research.
And I'm Sally Rice from the University of Miami, director of the law library, and I teach advanced legal research.
I'm Gordon Russell, Lincoln Law University, the associate dean director of law library.
I'm Greg Brandis. I was one of the founding folks for Concord Law School, the first fully online law school in the country. And after that, I was in San Francisco Law School for a period of time. And I'm now in consulting, focused on helping law schools create and develop and be successful with online programs. Also involved very heavily in regulatory structures in California that are, as I mentioned in the program the other day, leading toward the day, very soon I think, when California will state accredit fully online JD programs pretty shortly.
Matt Botniak, I am the head of instructional technology at George Washington University, and in that wing, I do all online or anything distance with faculty at GWO.
Dave McGinn, Assistant Director at Duquesne University, work at law school. Been helping people with putting courses online for about 20 years now. And finishing my doctoral dissertation in that subject. Well, sure, I'm a professor at UNH School of Law, which is the Franklin Pierce Law Center. I direct our online initiatives, graduate programs in IP and international criminal law justice. And since there's so many of you here, I'm also the child of a librarian.
I'm Ann Nowak from Toro Law Center. I teach law practice management online, and I'm also the director of the Writing Center.
And I'm Ginger Hunt. I'm the director of online learning at University of Arizona.
Oh, where's my
Name, rank, serial number.
You need that?
yeah, I do. Well, I could be Tim Stanley from Just Yet. I'm Elmer Masters. I'm the director of technology with CALI.
I'm Jack Graves from Toro Law Center. My traditional role is I'm a law professor focused on contracts, business law, and arbitration. My newer role is director of digital legal ed at Toro.
I'm Mike Kylan. I'm the CTO with West Academic, and just trying to figure out how the publisher plays a role in kind of changing content to be more appropriate for online learning.
Deb Quintel, Director of Curriculum Development and some form of Associate Counsel at Center for Computer Assisted Legal Instruction, better known as CALI.org.
So you work with John?
I do work with John. I am lucky. I'm lucky. I get to, among many of you in this room, I get
With or for?
I appreciate that preposition.
Yeah.
And it has been an honor to work for him, right?
It has. As performance review season comes, I'm reminded of the golden opportunity that life has afforded me. Well said.
I'm feeling ill now.
She's loyal.
I'm Ashley Albrand. I work at Indiana University Bloomington. I'm the educational technology librarian, and I've been teaching one of two online courses that we have at IU Bloomington, advanced legal research in the summer online for the last 2 years.
I'm Hope Ketnor. I'm the Director of Creative Learning at iLaw Ventures. I come from the University of Denver School College of Law. where I was there for 15 years. I was on the faculty and developed the first online master's program there back in 2003.
I don't know how to describe myself anymore. I'm
That's
Steve.
what this is about.
I know. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm Steve Burnett. I'm as of now, a legal education industry consultant. I've had a long and checkered career, including I'm a recovering law librarian from 100 years ago. Thank you. Appreciate that. I go to meetings a lot. I worked for West, the old West, before it was bought by Thomson Reuters. Developed something that some of you have used before called Twin. Was my product at West. And I went to work for Concord, for Barry Courier at Concord, and worked on partnerships with traditional law schools to put their non-JD programs online. The first and most successful of which, that's still the most successful program, is at Loyola Chicago. That went from 5 students in a master's program in health law to 300 students, fully online. A very successful thing with the help and guidance of David Yellen, who's now president of Marist College and no longer at Loyola. And then I became VP of legal education for Kaplan Legal Education, and Concord was part of that portfolio. We continue to do the online partnerships with other schools. Now I'm consulting with Carolina Academic Press to do some things with technology for them.
I'm Kathleen O'Connor, and I'm from Syracuse University. I've been for 15 plus years teaching legal research and writing, and recently became the executive director for our upcoming online program.
I'm Corinne St. Clair. I am the Director of Law School Technology Services at Loyola Law School in Los Angeles. I'm formerly the Assistant Director of Instructional Design and Technology. My background is general higher education, but this is my 6th year in legal education, and it's honestly fun to watch how it's changing.
Hi, I'm Tim DeVito, Associate Director of IT for Rutgers in Camden. I'm just an IT guy, but I like to poke my head in places where I don't belong.
You belong here.
So I just say, I'm Tom Moran, I'm the director. So one thing I don't know for those of you know is we have had a merger of our law schools. And so as part of that, we spent a few $1 million building an immersive classroom, which is very, very impressive, but has had some issues with ABA rules. I figured we would come today because of our pain with those rules, and I'm sure all of you have experienced that.
So one point of order. If you're not on the Working Group for Distance Learning and Legal Education mailing list, otherwise known as the Wiggle Dooley list, email me and I will put you on the list. It's just a Google group. It's not a heavily trafficked list, so you won't be flooded with messages, except when people are talking about something. There is a mail and there is a website, WGDLLE.org.
I think we promised Lucy we were going to start Zoom.
That's right. We did.
I was like, somebody's waiting for us.
Oh, that's right. She's online.
Oh, no.
Zoom, not us, right?
Yeah, do you have the meeting ID or the link?
I don't.
At least nobody's talking back to her.
Where's the host meeting?
No, I've got one running. But you just have to go to. Yeah, she may have already called 13. Hold on.
Another failure of distance education.
I thought we just design it and deploy it, and it's all up to you after that now.
They may not still be there. Maybe get those messages.
I checked the button that people could log in before I was there.
So they're logged in waiting.
There's a button where they can log in.
Yeah, well, when you set up the meeting, you have to check the box to allow people to log in. Yeah, it works
The
really well.
launcher. Okay, the launcher is not running. Your video?
You get a WebDL error.
I guess I could get
Yeah, I don't want my face in there. It's your fault.
Just blame it on me.
There's someone there.
Oh.
are you on?
It's 503 number.
Oh, it's probably Lucy.
It might be
Do you want me to just, maybe I can do it for mine?
Ginger, that's fine.
Oh, no, he's logging me in with.
Well, they'll recognize your name.
Hey.
I gotta say, from last year, there were 4 of us. We brought our lunch. We all awkwardly sat like one space between each other. It was me, it was Matt, it was Lucy, and it was Ginger. And John walked in. He's like, "So this is the working group for this." We're like, "Cool," and he's like, "You're it." We're like, "Oh." Yeah. So it's so awesome that this room is almost full.
That's okay. Did you ask who's on? Hi, who's on the Zoom call? Okay, well you can stay. We'll keep you there. We don't know who you are, but you can stay. All right. Well, tell me if anyone wants this. So it's really an unstructured meeting, like John said. But what we do need to decide is, last year we tried to meet every Friday at like 1 p.m. Eastern time, at the last Friday of every month, to try and get conversations going. And a few of those times we were able to have someone find someone at their school and kind of present on a course that they've taught or technology that they're using, so that we could all learn about what is going on at different places. And so I guess my first question is, do we want to continue? Hi, Norman. Norman. Do we want to continue with that type where we've got a lot of people now this year where we could have one person take a month and find a presenter that would be willing to, or present yourself, to come on and tell us about what you're doing at your school? And 2, are we good with the last Friday? Are you taking notes? Yeah. We should.
Yeah.
Okay. We want to continue with the last Friday of the month for our meetings. I think it worked out well. We just set them all. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it 1 p.m. Eastern?
Yeah.
Yeah. 10 a.m. Does that work for everyone? And then we'll just set it, and we'll set them up throughout the year, and we'll try and start in September, October, November, skip December, January, February, March, April, skip May. Okay. Is there anyone that has a burning desire to present something over? So Matt ran our WebEx meetings for most of the year, and then he had a baby. Not,
3 months old now.
Nice. Doing well. So then we switched to Zoom, so you and I can figure it out. And then we try, and if we have a video where someone like me hasn't said something that shouldn't be on video, post it online. We do post them on the WGDLLE website for people to review if they aren't there. So is there anyone who wants to volunteer?
Testing the speaker.
Yeah. We still don't know who called in?
We don't know who's called in, no.
And it's a 508 number?
Yes. 503.
Okay.
So one thing we did notice.
Yay!
Camera's on YouTube.
Sorry, I had my phone on mute. I was talking, but I didn't realize you couldn't hear me.
Now we can.
It took us 13 minutes to remember that we were supposed to be, We're so glad you're here. Can you hear everyone okay?
Oh, yeah. Great.
Awesome. Now you can see my back.
Yeah, so a couple things that we noticed in the meeting. So we started that we would do the meetings, and it was really helpful to have presentations, kind of like what are people doing, and tips and tricks for different things. And I think we started initially like more from an instructional designer standpoint, and that was helpful. And I think as it started picking up steam, a lot of the members who or attendees who started attending were part of the previous generation of the working group, the ones who made that awesome book that you can get from the WGDLLE website. And the conversation started turning into, well, what are we going to do next? And so we do have kind of this two, not really like pressing, but these two ideas, right, that one is like just exchanging information, and what are best practices and what's going on in the world of distance education, both in law and maybe outside of law, so we can be inspired by what folks have been doing for, it feels like forever. But then on the other side, that book that was written was awesome, and folks have brought up, like, do we need to update it? You know, there's different regulations, there's, you know, different things that have happened since then, or does a new artifact need to be made? You know, like the book is a great starting point, but maybe there's something else that needs to be created. And so when you attend the meetings, you'll see that there's both of those desires there. So when we ask, you know, for speakers, absolutely. But if there's also a desire to, maybe there's something very concrete that as a group we want to work on, which I heard got really, really crazy back in the day. Like y'all were flying like different places to meet and get locked in rooms and write, and wow.
You worked in that book. Were you
Yeah, raise your hand. Okay. Good job. Thank you.
I wanted to ask about a particular concrete thing that I've raised before, respecting the book, is the main criticism that I've heard from people who have read it is there's not enough about pedagogy in that book. And so if we want a very concrete project for those of us who are interested to work on, I think we need a really great online pedagogy chapter for that book, and a pretty extensive chapter. Obviously, I think the other sections need to be updated as well. There are regulatory and other changes that have occurred, but that's the one major criticism that folks who have reviewed it have to me, and I'd be thrilled to be part of the work on it.
As somebody who worked on that in the fairly early stages and got frustrated by the flying all over the place, saying there's got to be a better way to do this. And as in this area, as quickly as we would agree on verbiage or something, the technology would change, practice would change. Why not do this as a wiki? Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that, now, the challenge, of course, is who's going to be the wiki manager. But if we, you know, that's like you were bold and good luck. So as Elmer's our wiki manager, it seems to me that, you know, we've got people who contribute. Most of us appreciate the opportunity to contribute on our schedule. All advantage of asynchronous course, 24/7. If at 1 in the morning I've got a lot and I can't sleep, I can go do that. I can go work on something. But the idea of trying to coordinate meetings to do this again, even if we don't fly all over the country, even if we're just trying to meet online, is a nightmare. And I think we'll do better if we turn it into a wiki, and then it'll update.
Wait, John first.
I completely forgot what I was going to say.
We'll host the beauty of age.
Yeah.
You can say we're
sure.
gonna host
We'll host the wiki, but I needed to ask Elmer. He said yeah.
Thank you. It's an honor to work for him.
Yes, that's a word. It is an honor to work for Elmer.
Hold on, I got that. It is an honor.
We intentionally, as I recall, left out the pedagogy piece because it's a massive area, and of all the things there was literature on out there, it's online pedagogy. And although, you know, all the traditional law professors who hate online teaching will say law is different. In the end, online teaching in law is the principles at work are the same as online teaching anywhere else if you're thoughtful.
Buzz, would you agree we need to persuade people?
Yes.
That's one of the questions that keeps coming up.
I think there needs. I think a chapter or a piece that reflects that in some depth, and maybe what I'm talking about now that I think about it out loud is a chapter that's really essentially a bibliography about the various areas of online teaching would start to solve that problem.
Because you always hear this, right? You can cite the Department of Ed Meta studies to folks, as came up earlier in the session just today, but the retort is always, well, yes, but that wasn't a study of legal education. Right. Because the question is, what about legal education because we're so different? I think there's really an opportunity to stake out ground here and say, this is legal education, specific pedagogy. And, of course, it's the same as everything else. But with probably a few things that we think are special and different, but that we think are more particularly valuable. But we've now, as evident from the conference, learned a lot over these last several years. You know, particularly in the last 4 or 5 years, as many, many more people have done this. And so the original idea of this monograph was to collect those recommended practices from everybody who had experience. And so I really think it's a very appropriate time to start collecting that pedagogy specific stuff and stating our claim to understanding how this works enough that we can bring that out.
The other piece I would say, uncharacteristically, then I'll shut up, is to supplement Jack's wiki idea. I mean, I think it would make sense to 1 month we do, let's talk about this chapter in the best practices book, and then X person or X collection of people can go off and revise it, adapt it via wiki. That way it'll add, we get some momentum. We do that every other month, and then the off month we do something like, I would love to have somebody do a presentation, just as an example, on doing group work online. I'd like to do that. I'm teaching this fall, and I'd like to do that. It'd be nice to every other month have a pedagogy, some version of an interesting topic on pedagogy that we find out.
This is the first meeting that I've ever attended, so thank you all for welcoming me to this meeting. But I think it would be advantageous. We're talking about specific activities and producing artifacts and things of that nature. What's the mission of the group? Because a couple of folks have brought up some things, and I'm like, wow, I'm really used to be a director of a master's program in global leadership. So I'm like, wow, I'd be really interested in talking with this person. And so is it facilitating and fostering relationships so that you can mutually benefit from those relationships? Is it producing some specific output that's then shared amongst the group or a broader audience? Is it vetting ideas and approaches or to new initiatives, to individuals that may have some experience and knowledge on that, so that you're not tripping over the same hurdles? What's the genesis? Or are those the three things?
I'll just give my sense. It's an evolving proposition, and we don't want to exclude things. I mean, all of those things are in my time on and off in the group. It's been one or all of those things.
Because it's kind of fundamental. It's kind of like, what are the learning? What are the goals? What are the activities associated to support those goals? It's kind of like follows some of the curriculum design approach to a degree. If we start with what we hope to achieve, then maybe synchronous activities are important.
It's far more ad hoc than that, and that's why there aren't specifics.
Facilitate online learning, a legal education space. And it's all the things you said, I'll do that. And I think the reason it's pretty broad is because all of us right now, almost everybody in this room, has been fighting a battle against entrenched interests who have resisted. And so how do we as a group find more success in advancing the use of online delivery and legal ed?
In an immature industry, that is.
Online
education in legal space.
In the land of the dinosaurs.
You have an
advocacy role. Is there an advocacy role for the regulators, meaning the ABA, primarily other bar associations?
There's not anecdotal is the wrong word. There's an ad hoc advocacy role. We had a discussion several years ago about New York State not allowing any online credits to count towards the number of credits you need to sit for the bar exam. Rebecca Purdom and I got talking about it, and what ended up happening is our dean at our law school had Jonathan Lippman, who was then the Chief Justice of the New York Court of Appeals. He came up as our graduation speaker, and I had a 6:30 in the morning breakfast with him. And he went back to the court and said, we need to do this. And then,
At the same time, Patty Salkin, my dean, and I were hitting him
same thing on the same issue, and it changed.
So members of this group on an ad hoc basis have advocated when they have felt they had some kind of connection or opportunity to do so. But it's been
My question is, should it be a more formal role of this committee?
Has it ever been this large?
Yes.
Yes.
Bigger.
Really?
Minnesota, we think.
The first meeting, I think, had,
North Carolina Central was pretty big.
what, 50 people, Norm?
What?
The first meeting in D.C. at the restaurant, wasn't it like 50 or 60 people?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a big test, and there are a lot of people who would say, "Oh yeah, I've been part of that." And I think one goal is to keep everybody as engaged.
There's 90 on the list.
Yeah, across all those. But there were hundreds of folks who contributed, who were on the list as having contributed to the monograph.
Yeah.
That was one of our big challenges editing. It was to try to collect all the names that at some point had participated.
Oh, 93. Yeah.
And the University of Arizona was not on that list.
Well, we invited folks to tell us.
It's because of the picture.
Yeah, that's right.
We did our best.
Yeah.
Can someone please put it up on the screen now?
Will's working on it. Sadly, Will's been working on it for quite some time now.
But I do think that
I've got it right here. I can share with you all.
Sure.
the wiki helps with that because it would track contribution. I would just add that I think even if we create it as a wiki, we ought to figure out a way to actually publish it out. Because John very kindly sent copies of the monograph to all dean's offices in all schools across the country. And in my travels, I have run across any number of people who got that handed to them by the dean in their school, saying, you're talking to me about this. This came in, why don't you take a look at it? So it has, I think, had a terrific influence. In part because it's laying around, it's sort of physically there at the dean's office. So I think a wiki is a great idea, and then let's figure out how to take it out of there into that realm.
So you're saying that the dinosaur dean, you can't just say, here's the wiki, here's the link, you can access it and read it there. Yeah. All we need to do is export a PDF file and print it for the dean.
Well, easy is
that's
not
the
quite the
easiest
word.
part.
Yeah, that's.
But no, you're
I've
right.
done it before. I can do it again.
And with the wiki well done, everything's footnoted, and that's your bibliography too. I mean, you build it all together if we do it right. Yeah.
What I was going to suggest was, and this is probably a wiki topic, that actually first let me ask, how many people are actual instructors in an online course either now or in the recent past? A full lot of you, awesome. So there should be an entry in the wiki which is basically a collection of case studies. So my online course, here's what I'm teaching this is the technology used, this is the pedagogical aspects we use. And my guess is that if you read 30 or 40 or 50 of those, what will emerge from that is a, if not shared pedagogy, at least sort of a scatter diagram of techniques and policies. And it's the number one thing that people, when they hear I'm managing the mailing list, is, can you give me like a list of all the schools that are doing online learning and what they're doing and a list of detailed questions? And I say, post it to the list. But so you should do that.
So just
you could all write your own story, is what I'm saying. That's a simple thing.
mention, one of the other members of the working group and I have been discussing a research project like that. Census programs. She couldn't make it, but we've been trying to figure out how to
Yeah, we could do a survey, but this is, I have a feeling the data points in a survey don't do justice to all the different shapes that your programs are. So I'm telling you, write a couple of paragraphs. And you can start by posting it to the discussion list.
Or the blog.
Or the or comments on a blog, right. And then
if you open up the blog, I mean, it's not that complicated.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Can we come back to the second track? Corinne was right. I think there are two tracks: the artifact, maybe now wiki, and the meeting to talk, to collaborate on. One of the things that occurred to me is that we've been doing this where somebody volunteers to be a speaker. I'll be a speaker on formative assessment and asynchronous course. That's kind of a burden. Now I got to put something together, and I wonder if we might not have more success with those Friday afternoon meetings saying, we're going to talk about asynchronous, formative assessment and asynchronous courses. We're going to talk about effective discussion boards. Use it as a subject matter. Maybe two or three people commit to, I'll be there to kind of help move the discussion along. But we're not depending on one speaker who starts the Q&A as much as we're saying, this is the subject we're going to talk about. If you want to talk about this, be there on that Friday afternoon, and at least a critical mass of us commit to being there to kind of push the discussion. That might be easier than putting it all on one person to be the presenter.
Conversations in. I don't know if anyone has heard of UPCEA? Yeah, I can't tell you what it stands for.
How do you spell it?
UPCEA. And
Can you use it in a sentence?
Last night we got so UPCEA up in here.
They have an online learning administration track, and that's the track that I participated in. Each month, we try each month to have conversations in online learning, and that's exactly what we do. We send out a survey with 3 or 4 questions, and then we get everyone's details of the schools and how many people there are. And we have responses come in, and then they lead the conversation that everyone kind of joins in with, yeah, yes, that works.
So UPCEA stands for the Association for Professional Continuing and Online Education.
But it doesn't really, I don't know.
That's on their website.
It's a good group, if you're looking for others.
Yeah, UPCEA.edu.
Why is it UP?
You are A.
It's you.
Why is it you?
This is why I don't know what it stands for.
I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah, we all need more groups, though. Part of it is that we need to. But it's part of it is group therapy because we're all beating our heads against the wall. So to some extent, these groups are group therapy.
I think we could do that. Okay, so we have about 24 minutes left. How do we want to move forward?
Well, does it make sense to alternate? One month we do something like this, and then the other month we consider a chapter in the document and just start the conversation about, does this chapter need updating? Just have that conversation. And then, I don't know if we end by people volunteering to, start by making some wiki additions, or how we end that meeting, but just every other month consider one of the chapters in the book. And I don't think all the chapters necessarily need updating, and some of them might need only a little bit, but that might be, I throw that out as people think that's a good organizational approach.
How many chapters are there?
Several.
About a dozen.
Visiting is also sort of an extensive set of appendices. So
Yeah, which are great.
depends on how you count those.
It sounds like we have a lot of topics, though, that we do want to talk about or need to talk about. Like, regulation and accreditation and all of these things that, like the book, does anyone feel like the book is out of date? It's still super helpful, as it is. Is it more, would it make sense to make it more a priority to talk about, pedagogical issues going on every day, accreditation and dealing with the ABA and, all of these things that are almost super pressing? And then if no one has a pressing topic, then start going through the chapters and see if there's something we want to update?
When was, I can't remember, when was the book done?
2015, yeah.
I think people, I think it would be smart to look at it and be able to tell people we've looked at it again, right? Just because people go, well, 2015. Yeah.
So old.
I'm sure that distance education is just, really changed. So I think that's I see what you're saying, but I think to do that process, somehow letting people know this is still a vibrant, book that makes sense.
A good example of one thing that needs updating is the waivers that the ABA has given. It would be really useful to have a description of the ABA waivers, like William Mitchell got.
William Mitchell got, and I assume, are you guys still without, or is it?
We don't have one.
Right. Yeah.
And Vermont Law School, they've created a third year fully off campus. I think they got a waiver for that. I think that kind of stuff would be And that's kind of classic update information that I think people would want to know.
They'd really be interested, because they might want, they've heard about William Mitchell and Hamlin,
But some other chapters may just be...
Absolutely, but to tell people you've gone through it.
Well, in terms of this product management, this project, would it make sense to take the existing book and get it into a wiki to begin with?
Right. Yep. Yeah.
Right, and then we start working our way.
Right.
Through
Yeah, that was the plan.
some fashion or another.
That's what I'll be doing.
Yeah, and then, of course,
I'll help Elmer.
figure out who's going to what.
Jack's doing...
He's putting it in? Jack's putting it
No,
in?
Jack's doing much of the updating.
I'm not.
I almost got that through, didn't I? There's a flavor. But we support you, Jack.
Don't miss a meeting, Jack.
We support him, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
In your spare time.
No, I mean, I can remember working on this 4 years ago. Wasn't it 2013, summer of 2013 that we were with William Mitchell?
Yep.
That was when they launched, and that was, and we did a lot of writing.
We did some in a good bit of writing in at North Carolina Central.
Yeah.
So it's been going on for, some of it definitely needs to be updated, but I think you're right. Get it into the wiki first, because one of the things that if we trust each other as a group, the whole idea of a wiki, particularly if we've got something, is as we're reading it, there may be simple, obvious things that don't need any discussion that you can plug in. You know, new variances. Vermont's got one. Syracuse is in progress. You know, or whatever else we know. Or
Steve
there's
mentioned
a
Sarah
new
earlier. There's nothing on Sarah in that book.
That was just starting.
It was just beginning, the whole state authorization thing.
Does anybody not know what he means by Sarah?
This is the requirement.
I do, but
I
no.
Okay. Registered in each state in which you have a student enrolled. It's a huge challenge for a standalone kind of institution to manage. There's nothing in the book about it because of the time that occurs.
Yeah, with a wiki, if and God forbid this would ever happen, a dispute might arise about how something should be written or characterized. You can have revert wars.
Yeah. Jack's problem, I think, is our opposition.
It's a crowdsourced book, and
Right.
so it belongs in a crowdsourced.
Well, and that's how we solved it, right? We just plucked a couple of people out and said, everybody else shut up, these 3 are going to finish it.
Yeah, because, I mean, if it hadn't, it just would never have come together as a document unless somebody.
There was you and Rebecca and Karen?
Rebecca and Karen.
Karen West?
Karen Westwood.
Westwood.
You know, in addition to waivers, you shouldn't forget the Loyola and the Chicagos of the world who are doing this without us.
Doing it without a waiver.
I was going to say, yeah, all of that needs to be updated. There are people who are doing this in unique, creative ways with and without waivers. Here's some ideas.
It's not like ABA documents all the waivers they've given for distance learning, or
Or if
provides
they do,
any
they're not
information
advertising.
about why they approve or disapprove of a particular waiver, as far as I understand.
That's our experience, right?
Oh, you don't get it. Oops.
John, is it just something that, Elmer, are you going to put it into a wiki for us? Or
Yep,
something?
yeah.
Did I gather that from you?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great.
Isn't it done yet? It's tapping on the phone for 5 minutes.
It's slow. You have the Word doc, right?
I do have the Word doc. You can download
It's on the website.
Okay, it's on the website? Oh, wow.
Yes, Elendel, right?
Yeah.
it's on Windows, that's right.
Is there an EPUB version, Deb?
They're EPUB, Word, and
There is an
PDF.
EPUB? Okay, if there's EPUB, then yeah, we can wiki that.
Yeah.
So how about we have those guys get it in, and we plan on having a meeting in September, and we'll send out in August, hey, we're going to take a look at this portion of the book in September, read through it, come back with your ideas, and we'll talk about it, and then we'll go from there month to month. Does that work for everyone? Now, the WAL...
Can I since we started talking about it, why don't we just do accreditation? So
Start with that?
start with that?
Yeah. Everyone come with a list.
And September, you're talking about a meeting, a general meeting, not Friday afternoon.
No, it's Friday
Friday
afternoon.
afternoon. Oh, this is
Yeah.
Friday
That's
afternoon.
Friday afternoon meeting. That's what our topic of discussion will be.
I think you were about to ask how many people are also attending AALL in Austin?
That's January, right?
No.
No, this is the library.
Law library. This is AALS.
Sorry, I'm starting back. So only a couple. How many are attending AALS in San Diego?
I'm doing everything for the associate deans. I'm a group, one of the people responsible for that. Okay. There's the associate deans meeting at AALS put out a call for proposals about the associate deans would like to learn more about distance learning, and a bunch of people submitted.
So do we want to have, I was going to ask, do we want to have a lunch meet or something there at that conference? Because a lot of people going.
It's San Diego.
Yeah.
So it's a dry heat.
No, San Diego's just awesome.
Yeah.
In January, absolutely. Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
so we'll put together some plans for that to kind of regroup, and that'll be a good time. Okay. I think everyone, we would do about 15 minutes before the next presentation starts. So thank you, everyone, for coming. And like John said, go ahead and email him if you want to get on the list and you're not on our list.
Cali.org.
Lucy, we're all done.
Less academic. So Lou Higgins. Lewis? Yeah, Lewis. Yeah, I actually owe Lewis an update on starting this summer on.
Thank you. All right. Well, we will. We're going to regroup.
What can you people produce for the television student?
Okay. All right, Neil. Bye, Lucy.
June 30th.
I didn't hear about it.
They have more asynchronous learning going on even than that.
I've got multiple videos for every one of my lessons in learning contracts.
Oh, really?
Do the problem. Learning series sections. Was designed.
I would just go ahead.
So he basically
Right there with you.
Okay. And you were saying in your presentation that you had got your copyright back from Aspen, and then were using it in your own
Oh yeah, you're talking about that. Yes. Yeah. Here's what happened. Aspen basically said, you know, they took on a book that they didn't understand. We were and they thought it was and to make a long story short, it was a disaster. There were probably 10 niche courses around the world that took this semester.
You're at Cali.org.
Joe and I went back and said it's time for a expedition. They said, we don't think so. Okay, that's fine. You know, do we want to copyright that? It's, no, not so much, not until we sell out. And bottom line, they finally sold off enough of their text. In fact, at some point they were selling loose leaf on demand that they finally gave us they gave us the copyright back. Joe Morrissey was my co-author, is now, I think, renegotiating with Aspen to do a new version of the book as a book.
Sure.
I told Joe I didn't want to do the book as a book. I think that what I'm doing with Aspen Law, they basically report the box, including the text. So Joe and I basically agreed to cross-license to each other the original work. I now have the one-line version, and it's my copyright, and I embedded in the course.
So did you alter that content for the next one? You have the copyright back so you can kind of fit online?
And I updated it. It needed to be updated. The original book was 2008, and a bunch of things have changed. We got a bunch of European law, a lot of EU stuff has changed. So there were enough. There was enough of an update to do that when I went through to do just kind of the updating, I also changed the content. I added more problems, and it's evolved. because now I've got the copyright and I've been in the course, and I'm not jerking students around by charging them for a new book every year. I tweak it. I tweak it between the spring offering and the summer offering, because that's when I offers my course every semester. And so whenever I see something and go, oh, I want to do it, I don't have to say, oh, I've got to wait for the next rewrite, because I've got all the Word documents and I just convert them to PDF. That was all we did in the original like that. I'm basically maintaining my own book, and I make my money, I get overrides on the course. I basically get royalty overrides through Aspen Law if I get overrides for students. So I describe it as a range.
I think you want situational awareness or market intelligence.
Instead of writing a book, giving Wes the copyright in exchange for royalties.
You want to make it so
book. I did 52 videos. I did all of that stuff myself under contract with SNI. They paid me for all my front end work. They give me a backside on the course monitoring and royalties. And it's very much like
the person.
And then they license that out, right? So like multiple law schools.
Right. It's not even. Yeah. They basically deliver it to multiple law schools. So right now this summer I don't have any Toro students. I got 20 some students from University of Florida, and I'm teaching. And of course, it's 2 or 3 from a smattering of other law schools. But basically, if I'm going to get different students schools, the school offers it as a niche course in their elective curriculum. And when the student wants it, it's a great course. There's 10 students.
But it seems to go pretty well, so.
Yeah, I think.
But all they do is they take the exactly. School collects tuition. It shows up. Florida students will get credit. Florida course, International Commercial Law and Arbitration. Their faculty is approved. From their standpoint, it's a Florida course. But it's being taught by me. Feel free to adjunct at Florida. And I might switch you out of those.
So something that's a good idea.
And it's a great model.
Sure, at this point, it's green fields. So little has been done that almost
probably 5 people.
You may post it, go, oh, couldn't have done it differently. That's the only way to learn is to do it.
But for those that do, it's an easy way.
Where are they going to get it, right?
Exactly. So I think that's one of many models for doing online ed. And what a lot of the people who ask me, if you go on iLaw Ventures, if you haven't seen their model, you can go on. They've got this like 25 expert professors.
So they're not just doing niche things.
No, it's not all right. Some of them are niche, and some of them are more than niche. Mine is the niche model, but it's not limited to the niche model. And they started Etsy, but now they're moving solidly asynchronously. And most of them are still using external traditional books. The reason I didn't do that is having been through this before. I thought, I don't want to try to do another deal where I go to a publisher. The publisher takes a beating. All runs on this. I can't update it. I wanted to be able to update it, so I decided rather than going, you don't think it's publisher and others more, I'd rather just build a course and control it. But, if at some point there were a publisher that said, I want to...
I was just aiming at something.
Certainly. It's never going to be a big seller. In contrast, I can sell the idea to colleagues and learning. It's not heresy to only have the cases.
It went after.
You can't do that. That's blasphemy. You can't do that. Learning contracts is one. I think that could be a big seller. You can ever get over this.
This is great.
How long is it going to take for that?
We're always like,
new generation. The people, I've had many adoptions. A few people have all been people who were new to contracts.
Although we have
even with them, right? I mean, their experience is how they were taught.
Right.
They're going in and
No, teaching was probably difficult to start.
It's a generation. And it may well be that,
Nobody should ever.
it may well be that I have more success in MSJ
We will
programs.
comply with the World Health Organization.
So, anyway, to be continued.
He is often is this.
He is very chatty, always very snapsy. So we have gone.
I know.